Yoongi's eyes lit up. Taehyung thought that Jungkook was the one that made the mess, and Yoongi sure as hell wasn't about to correct him. My cock isn't lit up. Jungkook was cut off when Yoongi giggled and agreed. Yoongi! It was only then that he realized Taehyung thought he'd wet himself. He gasped in shock when Yoongi got off of him and pushed him back into the puddle of Yoongi's italicized, now cold piss. He shivered as it soaked into his shirt and hair, and all he could smell was Yoongi.
All you can smell is piss. That's all you can smell.
Nasty. Taehyung praised Yoongi before lubing his fingers up and told Jungkook not to move. After Yoongi gave him the okay, he gently rubbed one of his fingers against his rim, watching Yoongi's face for any signs of discomfort before slowly Oh.
What?
Are they talking about their asshole?
No fucking shit. No, the rim of a tire. I hate you. What else would they have to put anything in? Their vagina. The hole in the top of their penis.
I'll spit on you.
Don't, please.
His okay. You gonna what?
Donut.
Donut. Yeah. After Yoongi gave him the okay, he gently rubbed one of his fingers against his rim, watching Yoongi's face for any signs of discomfort before slowly pushing his finger past the rim and into Yoongi's warmth. Yoongi, however, was impatient. He'd fingered himself in the shower last night, and he could take at least 2 fingers. But of course he couldn't get mad at Taehyung because he had no way of knowing. I can take more, he whimpered as Taehyung rubbed his finger around his walls. You'll take what I give you, brat. Jungkook jumped at how deep Taehyung's voice had gotten.
He's surprised?
He had a naturally deep voice, but fuck, that was hot. Taehyung added a second finger to Yoongi anyways. When you finger your boyfriend...
People have probably come because of Taehyung's voice alone before, so I'm not surprised.
He groaned when Yoongi's head dropped to his chest and started clenching around his fingers, waiting for him to start stretching him. Jungkook whimpered at the lack of attention, but slowly reached his hand down to palm himself at the sight of his boyfriend getting fingered by his best friend. Pissy babies don't get to touch themselves, Cookie. Jungkook whined at Yoongi's voice, because what the fuck, he didn't even piss himself. And who is his baby boy to boss him around? But you... Jungkook gasped. When Taehyung slapped his thigh, be a good baby and you'll get rewarded, Cook. And fuck, if that wasn't the hottest thing Taehyung's ever said to him.
Taehyung's not a top, but whatever floats your boat.
But go off.
He's a power bottom. Yeah.
Jungkook nodded dumbly, trying not to gasp when he remembered he was laying in Yoongi's piss.
When you forget that you're laying in piss.
Soon enough, Taehyung deemed Yoongi stretched far enough for Jungkook's tiny cock, and Yoongi was desperately clinching around air. Yoongi straddled Jungkook's lap again, quickly pulling his sweats down enough just so his cock could spring free. Jungkook whined at how cold the air felt when his bright red, almost purple, damp cock curved up to his stomach. I'm gonna fuck your filthy little mouth while Gee rides you, okay, baby? Taehyung watched as Jungkook's eyes lit up and a loud moan, almost a scream, left his mouth when Yoongi's lubed-up hand started to stroke his dick.
When you almost scream when someone touches your little wee.
Please! Jungkook felt utterly humiliated. Not only was Taehyung treating him like a little baby that couldn't hold his bladder, his actual baby boy was treating him like a baby too. Jungkook loved it. He eagerly opened his mouth, waiting for Taehyung's thick dick to enter his mouth. Before Taehyung did anything, Yoongi lined Jungkook up with his hole and slowly started sinking down. He tried to buck his hips up when the head of his penis was past Yoongi's rim, but Taehyung obviously anticipated it and tightly gripped Yoongi's not Yoongi, Jungkook's hips through his wet and slightly sticky shirt. Look at what you did, stupid little baby. Your piss got all over my fingers. Taehyung shook his head in displeasure before bringing one of his fingers into the puddle below Jungkook. Jungkook whimpered quietly when Taehyung brought his finger up to his face.
No. What is he gonna do?
Be a good baby and clean my finger. If you do a good job, I'll fuck your face, even though pissy babies like you don't deserve it. Jungkook kept his mouth shut, but he had to admit he was slightly curious as to what Yoongi's piss tasted like.
Why? Why would you be curious?
Pee is toxic.
Pee is what you don't want in your body.
It's toxic. Toxic. He was so busy staring at Taehyung's finger that he forgot about the pressure on the head of his cock until it engulfed his whole dick. When Yoongi fully sat down, when he moaned, Taehyung stuck his finger into Jungkook's mouth. Here's a line that actually makes sense here. It tasted absolutely disgusting.
Finally.
But here's the kicker that makes it bad. But Jungkook loved it. He swirled his
faith in humanity.
Good. He swirled his tongue around Taehyung's finger until he deemed it clean enough. Cookie's so good for us, isn't he, Yoongi? Yoongi. Jungkook blushed at the all-too-knowing look Yoongi sent him, only flushing more when Yoongi started to rock his hips while letting him know how amazing his tiny cock felt.
Tiny? Why the fuck would you... Why do you guys keep doing my boy Jungkook like this? He doesn't deserve this type of abuse.
Your little dick feels so good, baby boy.
Your little dick feels so good, baby boy.
Your little dick feels so good, baby boy.
God, who keeps doing this? What the fuck? Why?
He really started to whine when Yoongi started bouncing on his cock. As soon as Taehyung slipped his cock into his mouth, Jungkook's ears started ringing, and he saw black for a solid minute. That moment when you get pee-pee in your mouth and you just faint.
Relatable.
Drake. You know he would. Now I'm feeling kind of dizzy. What is this doing to me?
Oh,
What is this?
it's torturing you.
Where's my paper towel? What the fuck did he do with it? I swear to God, just throw it away. Fucking throw it away. What the fuck, man? Why did you... Okay.
What was that? What did you do? What did you do? Tell me. Tell me. She's never gonna fucking tell me.
He felt so warm and fuzzy all over. He knew he wasn't going to last long. But thankfully, Yoongi and Taehyung didn't seem like they'd last long either.